Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for putting this on the agenda as well. In my district, PACE programs are critical, but more importantly, I think I've spoken to many that when we come to Sacramento, we bring our lived experiences. My father, as I've mentioned last year, in fact, has been just a very genuinely organic member of a PACE program in Linwood, where I was mayor of. Mm-hmm. And I've mentioned so many times that when mom was around, she took care of dad, right? That's what she did. And it's a cultural thing. It's a marriage thing. But, it'll be 6 years this summer. And dad talks about how he gets his oatmeal like mom would make it at the PACE program. He sent me a photo of his haircut he got the other day at PACE. And him being working out, which it was a joke because he doesn't really work out, but he was just in the machine and he had he had someone record him. But again, he has found a place called home, and he doesn't go every day because he's still not old enough. He's 73, but he says he's not old enough to go every day to the PACE program. Mm-hmm. But he goes on Thursdays. That's his home for on Thursdays. And I share that story just because it's a place where he's found a place to socialize and have a place to call home on Thursdays. So I just wanted to share that example and that moment. So I want to believe that many of my seniors in my community are part of these programs because it's a need, right? It's not a luxury. It's a fact that they find a home. So I'm very thankful of the work that you and everyone does to be advocates. I personally believe, and we have some budget requests so that we could ensure that as a pause is happening, that we are asking for an increase in services to have more individuals help process these applications. But assuming that doesn't happen, or as the conversations are happening, to advocate for if they're being in the Southeast communities I represent. I think you mentioned the Bay Area, and I know that members here represent different districts and they have PACE programs in their districts. So I understand that the department is currently reviewing their oversight capacity. So I just have a quick question: if how the department is considering addressing delays with the level of care determinations while the broader assessment of PACE is underway.
So as mentioned, PACE growth has just expanded rapidly over the last 10 years or so, and the department's staffing did not expand to commiserate with that. And last year we did request a BCP for additional resources to be supported with kind of fees on our PACE organizations to ensure that our workload is kind of commensurate with the staffing needs of the department. It did not move forward. And so we are in a place where we do have a backlog of the level of care determinations, and it is a matter of needing individuals to process these types of activities. And so do not disagree with the assessment. And that's, yeah.
No, I appreciate you highlighting that. And that's why I think one of the requests that I've made is, we fund some of these positions because it's really about processing these applications, right? And I want to make sure that more seniors and more folks could, take it, not advantage, but take, the opportunities to be part of these programs. So thank you for clarifying that. As a quick follow-up, how will stakeholders be engaged during the 2-year moratorium, and what opportunities will there be for input as a department to develop its own long-term strategy for PACE?
Yes, so we plan to initiate the stakeholder process late summer, fall. Are working with philanthropy right now to be able to hire a consultant to really do that stakeholder process, engage with CalPACE, our PACE organizations, consumer advocates. And it is beyond PACE. It is how we serve our dual eligibles and kind of where there are gaps across the state in the needs for services. So we want to be strategic in that conversation. And so there will be opportunities for that process. We'll be starting in a few months.
Yeah. And I appreciate your work in the department for the work you're doing in this space. I know my colleagues in this committee and throughout the legislature will benefit from more of our PACE programs throughout the state, getting the appropriate staffing to process these applications for our seniors. So thank you so much on behalf of my dad and the many seniors out there benefiting from these programs.